Let's take a look at some charts on Brave, or BAT, from this week's article on Brave New Coin. So Brave is the browser, BAT, Basic Attention Token, is the token that is used to pay out users for watching ads or viewing ads, as opposed to a website, for example, which collects the ad revenue. Another use case for the BAT token is a user can distribute their BAT tokens to a content creator, as opposed to the content creator collecting ad revenue from clicks on their website. So it's a pretty great system. It's a pretty great browser. It's from the it's from the Firefox people, Brandon Ike. Now I think it's a terrible store of value, but it's a great medium of exchange. It's a cheap way to connect users to content creators. This could be done with Bitcoin. It would look a little differently, but it could be done with Bitcoin. Another thing about the browser is it blocks all the ads for you, as opposed to something like uBlock, which will block ads. So the idea is we remove the ads completely, remove the middleman, we pay the users for watching ads, we pay the content creators directly from the users, and everybody's happy. That's the goal. If we look at who's signing up for Brave, you can see most of it is YouTube related. Twitter, Reddit, Twitch, various websites, Vimeo, GitHub, nobody on SoundCloud yet, but the lion's share is definitely on YouTube. The way it works on any of the non-streaming or video sites is tip-based, unless it's a website, and that is generally automated through the browser settings. So thus far they have over 600,000 users signed up on the publisher's side. You can see YouTube, websites, Twitch, all this stuff is just growing, Vimeo, exponential, GitHub. So there's definitely adoption, and there's definitely a movement, let's say, to pay people for their attention, which is what this token's goal is to do. Looking at the token itself, the on-chain stuff, overall transactions per day, the line here has been increasing year over year. Now this is the weekly payouts. You can see this weekly payout has been massive, eclipsing all other previous weekly payouts, and nearly eclipsing all-time high zones, which were related to speculation plus payouts at the time. So it's unlikely that most of this is speculation related. It's more likely that most of this is weekly payouts related. And if we look at their transparency stuff, we can see that these tokens purchases that they've had to purchase on the open market to pay out users, to pay out the tokens, have been increasing. So that right there just says there's been not a mass adoption, but adoption is growing, certainly, as opposed to these other smaller token purchases, Brave initiated BAT purchases. So everything's going up and to the right. That's what you want to see. You want to see adoption. You want to see use cases that are valid. If anything, the BAT token probably has one of the greatest use cases of any of the tokens available. It's just a terrible store value. Really difficult to speculate on something in the near or long term, just based on the fact that there's 1.5 billion tokens circulating. So over time, unless there's just magnitudes of adoption greater than it is now, the token really shouldn't increase in value. If, for instance, if I get it, I'm either holding it or selling it. Most likely people are selling it immediately and just converting it to cash, because why wouldn't you? Unless you're a crypto fiend like me and I just hold it because it's whatever, it's free money. Looking at the Google Trends for Basic Attention Token, those 3 words specifically, which I think is the best way to visualize the token stuff itself. Google Trends, again, up and to the right, that's what you want to see. Not like above 25% or whatever the metric is, but month over month since January it has been increasing, multi-month highs. So I think there's a lot of people looking into Brave BAT right now. It's certainly multi-platform. And the use case, like I said, is just great. I mean, it is what it is, right? You get paid for watching ads. You can pay content creators for their great content, such as Brave New Coin. So looking at technicals for the chart, we have volume, RSI, VPVR, 50 and the 200 EMA, and yearly pivots. So you can see in general, this stuff is just ranged in a really pretty tight zone, honestly. This is the USD chart, so it's between like 13 to 26 cents, really. Most of the volume has been around 20 cents, which is this red line here on VPVR. Honestly, at any price, it's fine. Like anything above $1 seems a bit absurd, but anything below $1, probably fine. It's really hard to trade this because There's weekly payouts. Like, yes, Brave is buying it to give it to people, so they're distributing it. So there's buy pressure, definitely. There's sell pressure if the users decide to sell, or if the users decide to give it to a content creator and then they sell. So it's kind of like a perfect system where there's never massive buy pressure from that respect. So I don't expect this to like ever take off on a price wise. Again, unless there's just multiples of people using the token. Mass adoption. So the 50 and the 200s have crossed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, going to be 6 times over the past year and a half. Not exactly a great signal. Just a massive range here. If it gets above 26 cents, then it will probably see bullish continuation. RSI is pretty unremarkable. It's in the middle of the range. Volume did get quite high the other day, but anything between 13 and 26 cents is probably just going to continue to range. Looking at the cloud, again, middle of the range, you can see all of these Kumo twists, all of these traverses of the cloud over the past year and a half. There's no trend here. This is trendless, indeterminate from a trading perspective. If it's bullish, you want it above the cloud, with the bullish cloud, bullish TK cross. So that would be above 21 cents. Again, not really something I trade, but I can see the appeal. Looking at BAT, BTC, again, very rangy stuff. Over time, I don't expect this to be bullish because I don't expect BAT to outperform BTC ever, really. So even looking at this from a technical perspective is difficult, knowing that there's 1.5 billion tokens and all this buy-sell pressure, lack of buy pressure, extreme sell pressure that I've been talking about. So trend-wise, this is bearish. It's below 200 below a cloud. It would have to get above 2,600 sats. And you can see there's massive upside resistance here. And you can see just how long it ranged. Pre-2017 to mid-2019, it was just in this range. And I just don't expect it to do well long-term against BTC. Doesn't mean it's a fine token. Great use case. Just not a store value like BTC.